What if I told you there are proven content strategies to get more views and revenue from your YouTube channel? And it took me 6 years to discover. And I've personally used them to make over $1 million on YouTube and even launch a brand new offer on this new channel that's already generating $30,000 a month. These are 13 truths that actually work to build a profitable brand on YouTube. Number 1, stop picking a niche. So let me explain why. When you're thinking about a niche on YouTube, we're thinking in these broad categorizations, right? Let's say this niche is the productivity niche, right? There are a lot of people who make content in the productivity niche. We have people like Ali Abdaal, Ruri Ohama, Matt Diavella, Better Ideas. I can rattle off so many different productivity YouTube channels. I mean, this channel is kind of a productivity channel as well, right? We help people be more productive with content creation or learning. Now, that's totally fine if you're like Ali Abdaal and you have 7 million subscribers and you're super famous and you've written a book about it, you're gonna do fine in the productivity niche. But for the rest of us over here who don't have that social proof and following, it is gonna be a lot harder to compete against someone like Ali Abdaal. So niche is the wrong way to think about it. And so what you wanna do instead is build your channel around a smaller pond to compete against. Now, I'm not talking about picking a smaller niche. What I'm talking about is inside of your niche, can you identify a more specific transformation? How is your content or your channel going to help somebody transform their life? In that way, you can become known as the person who helps someone achieve a transformation rather than being this person who does productivity content. So for example, when we were first growing Koi, we did make content that was just really specific to productivity, right? We'd review productivity apps, talk about productivity tips, and it wasn't until we got out of that niche thinking and figured out what is the transformation that we actually want to help people achieve with, did we start to build momentum and gain traction. We niched down into helping students get better grades through evidence-based study skills. That is so much more clear, the value that your channel is going to provide, and that's the reason why people would trust you versus just being lumped into this big productivity niche. And we're doing the same thing again on this channel, where we're now changing the transformation that we're helping you achieve, which is not just to learn faster and get better grades, but how to learn faster to build your own self-reliance with YouTube. And people who are self-reliant means they can make money on their own terms without the need for a job or any other traditional institution. And so that is the other transformation that we are now helping people achieve on this channel, making money with YouTube. So think about how your channel is currently positioned and can you go from niche to transformation. And this is important not just for more views, but also for making more money. Because content that is more specific towards a transformation, it's easier for the algorithm to categorize that content for the right person. So it's more discoverability for you. And second, specialists make more money than generalists, right? A neurosurgeon makes more money than a general surgeon. A dermatologist makes more money than a hospitalist. And the specificity of the thing that you can help people do and achieve with your channel allows you to command higher prices if that transformation is linked to a product or service in your business. Now, positioning is really important, but it's not going to allow you to build something sustainable, which brings me to the second truth here. Treat YouTube like a business from day one. I know a lot of people on YouTube talk about waiting to monetize, waiting until you hit, 10,000 subscribers before you go after your first brand deal, or waiting until you hit, 50,000 subscribers until you start making your own products and services and stuff like that. I think that is completely backwards. And if you think about a business, it makes sense why that is. Real business owners are trying to create cash flow upfront and immediately and invest that money so that they can grow faster, right? Think about startups. Startups come together, they focus on a transformation, they build an MVP, which is this like sloppy, scrappy version of the product to help someone get the result. And once they get what they call product market fit, they immediately go for funding so that they can invest in more employees, more hires, so they can grow faster. And there's no reason why you shouldn't treat your YouTube channel the same exact way. There are many channels that have a lot of subscribers and make very little money. And on the flip side, there are many channels that are very, very small and make a lot of money. And the main difference is really just understanding and thinking about YouTube as a business, right? Businesses solve problems. And even if you're a small channel, you're focused on the transformation and you're solving a complex problem, you're gonna make a lot more money. So, right, take for example, our 1.3 million subscriber channel. 70% of that revenue comes from digital products, courses, and services. 10% of our revenue actually comes from YouTube AdSense. My point is, if you want to do this full time, you need to figure out how do you make money to sustain your business, right? Businesses need cash flow to survive, to buy better equipment, to hire more talented editors, to hire more talented coaches or consultants or people on the back. Don't wait for some arbitrary milestone like 10,000 or 50,000 views or something like that to think about monetization. Start up front, get that cash flow so you can keep growing faster. Number 3 is to focus on the 80-20 of YouTube. If you are a productivity nerd like myself, you've probably heard of this principle called the 80-20 principle. 20% of the things that you do for making videos on YouTube will generate 80% of the results for your channel. And if I had to pick what this 20% is, there are exactly 3 things: better ideas, titles, thumbnails, right? The other 80% is the editing, it's the publishing, it's, all the other stuff that honestly most people who make videos think about is the most important piece. And so let me tell you a story about how freaking important this is. A couple years ago, we started a second channel called The Mike and Maddie Show. This was like our podcast channel, but we also started experimenting with like YouTube education. And I was like, oh man, this channel was gonna do so well because I've been on YouTube for 4 years. I've already made 800 videos. We already had a channel with over 1 million subscribers. And for some reason, that got to my head and I was like, I don't have to follow the rules of 80-20 for my videos anymore. My videos are good enough to where whatever I make, people are gonna watch. And I was completely wrong. So there were a few videos that I made where I focused way more on the 80% and the 20%. And so what did that look like? I spent a ton of money and resources hiring like a video editor, a motion graphics person, an animation person, even getting consulting from like a music person to help with like the music and sound design of the video. And I spent so long like scripting meticulously, getting multiple camera angles and recording like this 30-minute video breaking down Squid Game and Beast Game. Like in my mind, I'm like, oh, the production value of this video is going to be absolutely insane. That video cost my business like $2,000 to make, and it took me like a month working back and forth pretty regularly with my team to come to life, and it got 500 views. That was a humbling experience for me. When that happens to you, you never want to make those mistakes again. And so I don't want you to make those mistakes. Focus on the 20%, the stuff that really does matter. And then once you have this locked in, then the 80% can bring it the rest of the way. Number 4, most analytics are bullshit. I used to really obsess over things like retention and CTR and views and comments and stuff like that, only to find out that most of those things, at least on their own, don't really give you anything meaningful. Let's talk about CTR. CTR by itself is kind of a vanity metric, and it will lead you astray if you don't really understand why it matters. And to explain why, let's do just a little bit of math here. Let's say that we have one video that has a CTR of 5% and one video that has a CTR of 3%. Now, most people would think that the video with 5% CTR is going to perform a lot better. But just looking at this number by itself, which I think a lot of people on YouTube do, they just go to the analytics, they look at, ooh, how's my CTR doing? Let me flip out the thumbnail, or let me change the title or something like that. This number by itself is super, super misleading, right? In fact, on our channel, Koi, the videos that have consistently gotten over 1 million views, the ones that have like 2 million, 3 million views, those CTRs are actually sitting around the 3%, right? And the reason is because you have to understand how CTR actually works with something else, right? So CTR alone isn't really that important. What you have to look at CTR with is you have to add in impressions. Impressions and CTR together is at least like the bare minimum level of analytics that you should be looking at, right? And by the way, impressions are the amount of times that YouTube has shown your video's title and thumbnail to different people in different parts of YouTube, whether that's on the browse on the homepage, whether it's in suggested, or whether that's, somewhere else. So let's do some math here to really cement this in. Let's say that we had a 5% CTR on a video that got 100,000 impressions. What is that gonna be? Which means that this video got 5K views, right? Because 5% of 100,000 impressions is 5,000. Now let's compare that to a video that got a 3% click-through rate. But what if this video had 1 million impressions, right? Obviously, this is going to be a lot more. So 3 million is going to be the same as 30K views. I hope I did my math there right. Which one would you rather have? Obviously, I would want the video that got way more impressions for the CTR than just CTR by itself. So the metrics that my team and I review, but honestly, like if you're just getting started, just focus on those 2 things and look at those numbers on a long-term basis, right? I review analytics with our editors, with our clients with my creative directors, and we focus on things like retention, hook strength, impressions, like I said, not just CTR, and other metrics as well. If you guys want me to make a deeper dive video into how to analyze your analytics, it's kind of nerdy, but I think it might be very useful for those who are serious about growing on YouTube. Let me know and I can make that video. Number 5, don't build content systems too early. I remember when I started my podcast channel, The Mike and Maddie Show, I was inspired by all of these other podcasts on YouTube that were cranking out all of these shorts alongside the long form videos. And they were just like linking all those shorts back to the long form video. I'm like, oh my God, this is like such a machine, right? This like distribution machine, and they're probably growing on all the different social media platforms. I spent several weeks building this really elaborate system to repurpose our long form podcast into like a bunch of shorts and then distribute those shorts on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, everywhere. And then I hired a shorts editor to make a bunch of shorts. I made like 100 shorts for 6 or 7 podcast episodes that I had. And then I posted daily on every single platform because I had heard the advice from Hormozis, from the Gary Vaynerchuks. You just got to post mad volume, right? And that is going to grow your channel and your business. And you want to know what happened? Every single one of those shorts that I posted tanked. I don't think any of them broke like 2,000 views on any platform. And I was like, holy crap, why is this not working? And it wasn't until way later that I understood the nuance of the advice that the Hormozis and the Gary Vaynerchuks are actually saying. And let me draw this out because it'll make a lot more sense. Let's say you got Hormozi here, this guy telling you to post a lot of content, volume, and then you have me, who's over here, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna post volume content because this guy is really famous and really smart. He's doing it, so I'm gonna do the same thing. But you have to really look and understand why that strategy works for him at this stage in his business versus you. I tried to go for volume and just make infinite amount of content and grow the game, and it got me nowhere. He does it and he grows by like $10 million a year. He does a $200 million book launch in 3 days. So what's the difference here? The difference is Hormozi's content is already really freaking good, right? He has a full team of creatives working nonstop for his brand on his channel, learning how to iterate, improve, and make better content. Because he has the results of making good content, then he can crank up the dial and make a lot more, and it's going to grow his brand. On the flip side, I had never made a short before. I was just like kind of copying and stealing ideas that I saw and just trying my best to make it work. No one knew me for that problem that I was solving. And so when I made a whole bunch of shorts, it actually hurt my brand more than helped it. And this is really the point that like I had to get drilled into my head. If you build a system before you get results for it, then all you've done is build a system to get you really bad results. Honestly, like if someone goes to your page and they see you just have this wall of content and all those content have like 50 views, 5 views, 4 views, that is more damaging to your personal brand and your reputation than having like 5 videos that have done pretty good. And so the better way to build systems is to first focus on getting the results. Can you actually get your content to intrigue people, make them click, make them watch, make them subscribe, make them comment, make them follow along and get the value that you're actually giving them? And then once you know that, okay, I have this good product, I have the ability to make good videos and I'm getting real signal that that video is good, then you can now turn it into a system. But don't do it the other way around because you're gonna waste a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money building something that doesn't actually work. So how do you actually test and learn systematically? Well, that's where this next principle comes in. And I'm not reinventing the wheel here. This is actually stuff that's taught to kids. I learned this when I was like 8 years old or something. I use the scientific method. When you are building a business, you want to treat it in a very calculated way. You want to look at data and understand how that data is going to influence the next move that I make. But there's an important piece about data and execution. There's a gap in here that a lot of people miss. And so what is the scientific method? I like to keep it kind of simple. The first thing you have to do is make a guess. In scientific method, this is like the hypothesis, right? Like, what do you think is going to be the result of this experiment? Step 2, you actually test it. So make the video and then see what happens. And then after you test it, you analyze. Were you right or were you wrong? And if you were right, well, just do more of that. And then you just keep doing that over and over again to validate that this guess actually becomes true. Now, if your guess was wrong, then what you want to do is come up with a new guess, right? What is your new hypothesis about what might happen? And then test it again, analyze it again until you find the thing that's right. You keep running tests every single video that you make, and I guarantee you, by taking an approach like this, you will grow your channel. right? And this is something that I've personally been obsessed with. And so if you are also serious about growing a profitable YouTube channel and you want like a scientific and data-driven approach to actually growing it, then check the links in the description below. We'd love to speak and see if we can help you out. Number 7, outsource what you hate. You just have to think about how you value your time. So if it costs, let's say $200 to pay a video editor to edit your video, if it takes you 10 hours to edit a video, then you are basically saying that you value your time at 200 divided by 10. You value your time as $20 an hour. As a business owner, this cannot be where you're spending your time, right? You need to offload the things that are taking way too much time for the results that you're getting, especially if you don't like it. And honestly, you're probably not gonna edit as good as a video editor. If you're hiring a video editor, they specialize in video editing. They probably can edit the same video in half of this time, right? It probably doesn't take them $200 to edit a video. They can probably do it in, like 5 hours. So their rate's probably $40 an hour. To them, that's pretty good. But for you, like the skill gap to close so that you can get so fast at editing, you are way better spent using that time actually working on the business, strategizing, packaging, focusing on those 80-20 things that I talked about, and then actually delivering products to your customers on the back end. I just talked about video editing here, but this really applies for every single piece of the YouTube process, whether that's making thumbnails, whether that's editing your videos, whether that's scheduling your videos, whether that's replying to comments, whether that's answering DMs, whether that's checking your email. Like there's so many things that happen in the like YouTube to business pipeline that maybe you shouldn't be doing if you hate it and you're also not suited for it. And so think about like, how is your time best spent? Are you doing $20 per hour work at the current level that you're at? Or should you just pay someone who can do it much faster, much better? And for them, it's also a good deal, right? So you're not being selfish here. You're helping someone else, but you're also helping your own business. But no matter where you are in your business, what stage you're in, this next principle is non-negotiable. Number 8, the hook matters more than the rest of the video edit. And if you don't believe me that this is way more important than the rest of your video, I'm gonna prove it to you. Go to your YouTube analytics right now and open up any video, literally any video that you've published that's been live for more than like 2 days. So you actually have some retention data on it, and scroll down and you're gonna see this line that has this big drop off at the beginning and it continues to drop off more over time. This right here is your hook. And this is true across basically every single channel. And I've seen the analytics of a lot of channels that we now work with. About 50% of people leave the video within the first 30 seconds. And so your hook, your intro, if it is not good, then more than half of the people will leave. So if 50% of people are leaving your channel after 30 seconds, then it doesn't really make sense to do this super fancy, I don't know, motion graphic animation thing at minute 10 in the video if by that point there's like 20% of people actually still watching. You are much better off front loading the value and the editing quality so that the people who do stay have the highest % chance of converting into your business, actually getting value, and then moving down your funnel. Don't put your best stuff at the end. You wanna make sure that you're giving lots of value up front so that people are even enticed to continue watching. But then also if people leave, which most people do, at least there's a higher chance that they'll get something useful from your videos. Number 9, consistency, consistency, consistency. Posting regular videos is going to build momentum in the algorithm. Better to post good content consistently than perfect videos once every other month. And I've actually kind of already covered the reason why. It comes back to the scientific method here. If you post more videos more regularly, then you have more guesses, you have more tests, and you have more data to analyze to keep improving your YouTube process so you can grow faster. If you only post one video every month, then you are gonna be getting very few feedback loops to know what are you actually doing good and what is actually bad, right? So if you post monthly, that means you're gonna get 12 opportunities to get feedback every year. Compare that to somebody who posts twice a week. They're gonna post 8 videos or more a month, which basically means they're gonna post like 100 videos for the year, right? Monthly at 12 videos versus twice a week at 100. This is an 8x difference in learning, in speed, and in feedback and momentum that you get for your channel. This point actually took me quite a while to understand because most of the advice about how to grow on YouTube comes from these entertainment channels like Mr. Beast, like Eric, like Ryan Trahan, like Dude Perfect. But you have to think about what is their business versus what is your business. So when I say like you want to have more time to work on the business, not in the business, an entertainer like Mr. Beast, working on the business for him means focusing on more content. Whereas let's say a coach who does weight loss or something like that. They're working on the business means working with clients. That's the big distinction there. If you run a media business, then working on the business does mean you want to make better quality content. But if you're working on the business means working with clients or anything that's not related to content, then all you really want to do, you want to make content that is good enough and then go for volume. Because this is going to do much better for your business. You're not focusing on views because you are focusing on discoverability and you're focusing on trust. Those are the metrics that your content as a business owner should be focused on. So you might think, oh, like in order to get discovered, I have to make really, really good content. Yes and no. If you are Mr. Beast and you can spend millions of dollars to make super high production quality videos that can go viral, then yeah, that is a way to get discovered. But if you are a business owner and you don't have the chops of making super entertaining viral content, then discoverability, it comes down to volume with shots on goal. So a lot of good ideas and a lot of content in those good ideas is going to give you more discoverability than trying to obsess over one piece of content when you are not someone who is in the media business. And the next thing that you are focused on is trust. You want to make content that demonstrates your expertise, demonstrates your ability to solve complex problems, demonstrates your ability and showcases what you're good at doing in your content. Right? That comes through, you will make more sales and you will grow your audience, and you are not focusing on vanity things like views or the branding and aesthetic. That stuff can come later, but this is what you should focus on first. Number 10, most creators quit before they break through. It takes about 50 to 100 videos that you make to find content market fit, which is YouTube matching your content to the perfect audience that might watch it. Now, many creators can do it consistently for 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe even 6 months, but after 6 months, they enter this like valley of despair. And that's when they quit. Because after 6 months of doing something, if it doesn't feel like it's giving you any reward, it is really, really easy to just be like, this is not worth it. But I promise you, it takes longer. And that's why like volume is so important. If you can push yourself and your team to post like 2 videos a week and get to 100 videos in 1 year, then you are shortcutting that process of content market fit. But if you make less videos and it stretches over a long time, it might be years before you get that content market fit and you see any value from YouTube itself. I always say this to my clients and our students, YouTube is the ultimate game of delayed gratification. You just have to suck it up and post videos consistently, cringe videos even when you're just getting started, for a long time before you'll ever see anything come out of it. Number 11, your unfair advantage is your story. Because of all this AI slop and ChatGPT writing scripts for everybody, there is this big shift right now from YouTube from going like super polished, super fancy, back to this more raw style of video. And by raw style of video, I don't mean videos that have like nice sets and backgrounds. By raw, I mean people who are just being more authentic and sharing their experiences and their stories in the exact same way that I'm doing right now. Earlier this year, I made this video here. I literally just sat down with a cup of coffee and I just talked about some failures and lessons and mistakes that I made in my business. I didn't script anything out. I didn't use AI to generate any thumbnails, titles, or anything. I just told my personal story. And that video generated $40,000 in sales and built our new offer. And it all came from just me being authentic and raw on camera. I think this is like an advantage right now. While everyone is trying to figure out how do I incorporate AI and all this AI generated stuff and use AI to automate things, the creators who are seeing an opportunity are going the opposite direction, right? They are going back to this raw, authentic strategy of content, and that's actually building more trust. Maybe this is just me personally. I can't watch AI video. People who read AI scripts that's kind of obvious, like it was written by AI, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth and I click off like immediately when I find out. And that's why like on our channels, we used to do these like hand-drawn anime thumbnails, which were not AI by the way, those were drawn by anime artists. We are going back to using our faces in our videos and faces in our thumbnails because we want you guys to remember that we are the creators behind this channel. We're the founders behind this business. And if you really want to build a successful business, then you need to put yourself out there, put your face out there and show people and tell people your story, right? I've told a lot of stories about myself through my time on YouTube, building this business and all the lessons that I've learned from it. This is what people want to see, right? This is why people would work with you and buy products from your business, because of your thought process, your experiences, and your ability to communicate those things to help people solve problems. that is your unfair advantage on YouTube. Number 12, don't chase algorithm hacks. Now, I'm not saying don't evolve your content. You definitely need to keep growing and leveling up and using the scientific methods to improve your content so that it's in line with the meta of today, but don't chase algorithm hacks. There's a big difference here. For example, if you look back at the meta of how YouTube has changed, in like 2018 to 2020 time, this was like the birth of the talking head creator. Then a couple of years later, we started getting these like cinematic creators come out, like Life of Riza, Matt Diavella. Then a couple of years later, we have like podcasts popping up everywhere. Like there are small meta nuances that do change over the years, and you do want to stay in tune with that. And not only does that change with like the different formats that are happening on YouTube, but also like the styles of thumbnails. I guarantee if you go back to like 2016 YouTube and you just look at all the thumbnails that pop up on your homepage, they probably look so different than the ones that would appear there nowadays. Even if it was like the same style of content, right? And that's the point here. The fundamentals, the foundation of that content, whether it's, self-help, whether it's business, whether it's tech reviews, the essence of those contents are still there, but the look and feel of them do adapt with the different metas on YouTube. This is why it's important to keep updating your strategy, keep running tests, and evolve and adapt with the meta, but don't chase hacks. And finally, for me, build your YouTube channel for a lifestyle, not revenue. Design your creator business around how you want to live, because revenue is not going to mean anything if you hate what you have to do every single day. I really like to travel, and a lot of people who think that would be like, oh, you're a creator, you can travel and you can make videos on the road, you can make vlogs, you can do all this stuff. I like to travel, but I don't want to make videos when I'm traveling. And so the way that I've designed my business to match my life is that I built a studio that I'm in, that I can just show up once a month, film a bunch of videos, and then I can go out and travel. I can go out and do fun things with my family, my friends, and I don't have to worry about making content when I'm out and about. And I can just really focus and be present with the things that I'm doing. But for someone else who really does like to travel and make videos out there, maybe they would design their creator business differently. And I really don't think there's like a right or wrong way to do this. It all comes down to just being really intentional and understanding how do you want to live your life. As the founder, as the creator, you are the lifeblood of your business. And so you need to build it around what is going to be sustainable for you. And I think this is a problem that a lot of people don't think about early enough, or they build a business that they don't like being in. They build a business that doesn't work for them. And that is not going to allow them to play this game infinitely, which you kind of have to do if you want to grow and build something sustainable. And so these 13 lessons that I've learned, they all really point to one core truth. YouTube success isn't about following a playbook. It's about building your own playbook based on your unique positioning, your strengths and your goals, and following some proven structures and ideas that'll get you there. Because every channel is different. What's worked for me, it might not work exactly the same for you, but all these lessons that I'm sharing, if you adapt them to build it around your life, I promise you it will work. And if you just keep at it this year into 2026 and you follow each of these to the T, I promise you, you will build a channel that you love being in, that you love making content for, and that you love helping the people that actually need your help. Like I said, if you are serious about YouTube and you want some sparring partner to help you grow and be there for you and make this thing work, then check the links below. We'd love to speak and see if we can help you out. But if you're not ready to end your YouTube education at all, then I actually made this 3-hour video right here going into every single part of our YouTube process to grow from 0 to 1 million subscribers. I think you're really gonna like it.